Hello students, today we are going to start the first topic of class 8. So before I tell you the name of the chapter, let us first understand some facts which you have known all this time. Now, from in class 6 and in lower classes also you have known what are numbers. Numbers are those with which we can count. So counting numbers are also known as natural numbers. So numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. This group of numbers or this set of numbers are known as natural numbers and we denote it by n. Now with this group of numbers, if we include nothing, that is 0. 0 represents that we don't have anything and with which we cannot count. So if we include 0 with it, this group of numbers is known as whole numbers and we denote it with the symbol W. Now, when we stand in front of a river, we see our reflection in the water. Now, if I say what is your height in the water, how are you going to denote it? Now, your height, suppose it's 5 feet. Then what will be your height which you can see in the reflection? So numbers, that is also 5 feet, but that is 5 feet below and you are standing above. Similarly, suppose there is a submarine which is directly above an aeroplane and the aeroplane's height is 2000 meter above sea level and the submarine is directly below it at a depth of suppose 1000 meter. Then how are we going to denote both the numbers? So in maths, the value of both the cases remain same, but to show that it is in the opposite direction, we use negative numbers. So with this group of numbers, if we include the numbers -1, -2, -3 and so on, so this entire group of numbers, this positive numbers, 0, negative numbers, this set of numbers together will be known as integers, which we denote by the alphabet capital Z. Now, we have learned in class 6 and 7 about fractions. What are fractions? Fractions are part of a whole. Now, then how do we denote numbers like these? All numbers have a place on the number line. Then how do we denote fractions? 4 by 7, you know how to denote it. But then if we get a number -4 by 7, then how do we denote it? What are these numbers? Now, there are decimal numbers 2.4. Now, 2.4, you know how to write it in as a fraction. It will become 24 by 10. Then how are you going to denote those numbers on the number line? So, and what do we call these numbers? So, these numbers and all the numbers together, this entire group of numbers are together known as rational number. That is our topic, the first chapter for class 8, rational numbers, and it is denoted by the alphabet. The set of numbers, the rational numbers, are denoted by the alphabet Q. So Q represents the set of rational numbers. Now, rational numbers, as you can see, the integers, they are positive, negative. Similarly, rational numbers can also be a positive rational number or a negative rational number. Now, if a number I write, like here I wrote 2 numbers, there are infinite examples of rational numbers. So what do we call this rational number? Here you see the numerator and denominator, both are positive. So we call it as a positive rational number. And here a negative sign is there. So what do we call it? We call it as a negative rational number. So before we, so this can be called as a positive rational number and a negative rational number. So what actually is a rational number? We can define, and you can also note it down in your notebook, that is any number of the form P by Q where P and Q are both integers and Q not equal to 0. This is exceptionally important because you see here in the fraction, if the denominator becomes 0, what will happen? It will become meaningless, it will become undefined because division by 0 is not possible. So Q and integers and Q not equal to 0 are called as rational number. Right? Now, so how can we say 3 as a rational number? Here we have written 3. How do we call 3 as a rational number? We can call 3 as a rational number because 3 can be written as 3 by 1. So, the P is 3 here and Q is 1 here. So, is 0 a rational number? Yes, 0 is a rational number because 0 can be written as 0 by 1 where P is 0 and Q is 1. So, rational number can be of types which can be any number which can be written in the form P by Q are known as rational numbers. Now as I was talking about positive and negative rational numbers. Here 4 by 7 is called a positive rational number and minus 4 by 7 a negative rational number. Now if I write a number minus 4 by minus 7, then what is it? Is it a positive rational number or a negative rational number? Now, negative, you know the rule of integers. Negative becomes positive. So, in this case, this is a positive rational number. Right? And then if I write minus 4 by 7, it's a negative rational number. If I write 4 by minus 7, then this is also a negative rational number. And 4 by 7, if I write, that's a positive rational number. So this is what is rational number and what are positive and negative rational number. And with it, I hope you remember what are equivalent fractions. That fractions, when multiplied or divided in both numerator and denominator by a common number, it gets changed into equivalent fraction. Like suppose if I write a number 2 by 4 and 2 by 3, and if I multiply, 4 was also correct, but then let us see, if 2 by 3 I wrote, and with it if I multiply in both numerator and denominator by 2, I get the number 4 by 6. So what can we say? 2 by 3 and 4 by 6 are equivalent fractions. So the concept can be extended to rational number also. In the same manner, we can get equivalent rational number. Suppose the number was minus 2 by 3 and you multiply 2 with both numerator and denominator. So what do you get? Minus 4 by 6. So that's an equivalent rational number. With 4 suppose and with 6 I multiply 10. So we get minus 40 by 60. That is also an equivalent rational number. Now suppose I divide with 5 both numerator and denominator and we get minus 8 by 5 2 10 minus 8 by 12. So that is also a equivalent rational number. So what we have discussed in this video, we have learned about what are rational numbers, what are positive and negative rational numbers, and we have discussed about what are equivalent rational numbers. Thank you. Let us meet in our next video again.